All right, guys. So about a month ago, I posted on one of the Corvette forums that I got a flip key on eBay. It's got, the remote already built into it, 4 buttons, lock, unlock, trunk release, panic, and the key flips on it. So some guys wanted to find out where I got it from and how to do it and all that stuff. So I decided to get another set right here, again on eBay, same seller, just this time it's a different kind. This is a little bit smaller. There it is right there, and it has the C5 logo. Lock, unlock, trunk release, and panic on the side. That's kind of cool. So I'm going to show you guys how to put it together and how to program it. So first thing I'm going to do when I first get out of the box is I want to make sure that the remote actually works before I start cutting a key. So here we go. Okay, so first things first, you want to turn the car on without starting the engine. I'm going to hit the options button until the display is blank. And then I'm going to hold the reset button until I see fob training. Fob training, and I'm going to hit reset until first fob. You see that, and then I'm going to go ahead and program this by holding the lock and unlock button. First fob learned, and that was the trunk. And it works. So now I'm going to go ahead and start cutting the key, because right now there's nothing on there. It doesn't come with a blade or anything, so you have to buy your own blade or key blade. Okay, so here we are. When you first get your package in for that new flip key, the only thing you get is the key fob with the flip mechanism there. There is no, if you notice, there's no key blade, so you have to buy a separate key right here. I bought this one also on eBay, I believe, for $28. It has this like resistor chip on it, so you have to there's a way to find out which key you need. You just have to take a ohm meter to both sides of this and see how many ohms you get, and based on that you choose which key they'll send you. And of course it's just it's a blank blade, and you just go get it cut at the at your local locksmith. I do recommend having at least another spare key in case you mess up. When you cut this, it's going to be a little harder for your locksmith to cut it if you don't have an actual one that looks like this, because when you're all done, when it's all said and done, you're cutting, and all that's going to be left is this blade here. So make sure you have a spare. Get it cut at the local locksmith. So this is the actual key that I'm actually going to use to do this project here. So here we go. Oh, that's right. So it comes with this and a couple pins. Right there, 3 pins to put the key blade onto this guy right there. So your blade goes in there and comes out. And you put the pin in there. Anyway, it's quite a project, but I think if I can do it, you can do it. It's not too hard, just really tedious. Here we go. I'm going to use a Dremel, or knockoff Dremel here, with a Dremel cutoff disc. I'm just using the heavy duty cutoff wheel number 420. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to expose the key blade. I'm going to take the plastic part off with this cutoff tool. here we go. I'm probably not gonna video the whole thing. I'm just gonna show you the start of it. Okay, if you're worried at all if there's any electronics or chips or anything to worry about in there, there's none. So it's just metal back there. So just cut off the plastic. Don't worry about it. The only chip on this deal here is this guy. It's on the key. Okay, so here's what I did. I cut the sides here, and then now it's held on with some adhesive. So you just have to cut it open, cut the sides up, and start peeling away. See? Now the whole key's exposed. I can start cutting. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this all the way down straight. I mean, some of you guys might want to. I'm just gonna show you guys how I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna cut straight down, and that's what I did last time. And then I'm gonna start measuring the width that I need to get in this guy here, and the length. Yeah, so it's gonna go right in that slot there. I'm gonna start measuring that once I have this kind of straight, cut out straight into a line, and I'll show you guys in a second. Actually, I'm gonna start cutting right now. Okay, so to do this, I'm just gonna go ahead and use a straight edge and just mark it off. I'm not gonna do this on camera right now because I wanna make sure I'm right, but I'm just gonna, draw a straight line through it, and I'm gonna cut on that line. Okay, so I've got it marked off now. Now I'm gonna start cutting right on that line. Okay, I might use another disc. Okay, so I put on a mask because there's a lot of metal shavings, and I put on a reinforced disc. I moved over to my my vise here and clamped it on there with a rubber grip on it as well, if you see that. That way I don't damage the key or mar it or anything. So here we go. There's one off. Let me get the other side. There it is. So it's kind of rough right now. Oh, where's the camera? There it is. I'll straighten that out once I get the actual measurements that I want. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure how long I want the key blade to be. I want to make it as long as possible on this guy here. That way, there's, it'll still fit in the car. You don't want to make it too short. So I'm going to try to butt up right against the edge there. So to do that, I'm going to measure from the edge. So I'm going to push the button down. If you see that, I'm going to push the button down and then kind of pull that over. You see that? Turn it until it locks back. You want it closed in essence, so the hole for the key blade is in here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to measure how long the hole is. To do that, I'm going to use a set of calipers. Boom, there we are. So it is 7.98 millimeters deep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 7.98 millimeters to the total length that I want on the blade. So right now, if you notice, I'm going to do this here, and I'm going to measure from where it's at right now. So basically I'm going to put this here, mark it here, see where it kind of ends there, and I'm going to add 7.98. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit more. I'll probably add like 9 millimeters so I can just shave down from there. It's better to do it that way and go from there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is butt up the key to the end there and find where the edge of the key socket is. So if you can see right about there. Well, kind of hard doing this with the camera. So right about there. And then from there, I'm going to add 9 millimeters to that. And so I'm probably going to end up cutting, well, you know what? I'm just going to cut right here. Let's just do a rough deal here. I'm just going to cut right here. I'm going to cut that off. And then, you know, it's better to have more. That way you can just grind it off little by little later. Okay, so I'm going to cut right at that line. Man, I hope you guys appreciate this because I'm doing this a little harder than what I should be doing because, you know, so you guys can actually see it. I'm trying to figure out camera angles and all that good stuff, so. That's what's left. So now what I want to grind this down to the width that would go in the key socket. I want to figure out the width of that so I can slide this into it. Got this guy here, so I'm going to use this to thin it out. Hopefully this works. Okay, so there you have it. The right width, 6.2 millimeters to fit it in there, but it's too long. So I gotta keep going. Now I know what width at least to go to. I'm gonna take off, I'm gonna go right up to that line right there, what I said earlier, but I'm gonna do it now, okay. All right, so I got it cut the right length and width. It's gonna be 6.2 millimeters wide by 7 millimeters long. So from here to the notch there is 7 millimeters, and this is 6.2 millimeters wide. And that's for this key, okay? It's the 4-button key, 3 in the front, 1 panic button on the side. That's for the C5 2000 to 2004. As you can see, it fits perfectly inside the notch. Now I'm going to flip it over. Now the problem, it won't go all the way in because there is there's this chip here. I guess they didn't account for it, but all you have to do is grind down a little bit here, kind of grind down like a little valley for this to sit in. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press down a little hard here. That way it creates an indent so I can see where I need to grind off. And I'm going to use this guy, probably not the proper use for it, but I'm going to use that to grind it off. I'm going to be careful not to grind the sides because it'll look nasty. So here we go. Let me try it out. See that? Just kind of ground out a little valley in there that to fit this guy. So now, when I close it, doesn't stick out. Well, opposite way. Boop. There it is. Doesn't stick out. Next thing I got to do is grind out a notch to put the pin in. So the pin, there's going to be a pin going in that little hole there. Pin going in that hole, and so I have to grind a little valley or a little notch in the actual key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pencil, mechanical pencil. I'm going to mark. Oop, I'll be right back. Push this in as far as I can, and I'm going to take a pencil and mark where I need to make the indentation for the pin to hold. Okay. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see, focus. I'm going to take a picture of it. All right, so I took a straight edge and marked a line from one side to the other where I marked off the notch. I'm gonna use the reinforced cutter at a slow speed. That way I can basically just cut a notch right through this here. I want to be careful not to cut all the way through or cut too much, because if I cut all the way through, well, that key's done. I've got to start all over again. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but you can see right through the hole now where I cut that notch. Now all I've got to do is put one of these pins in. Okay, so I forgot to show you. So basically what I was notching here was, see that right there? Just kind of a groove, little valley in there so the pin can go through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right in here. And again, you can see right through the hole. Boop. So the pin would go in there. Okay guys, so there you have it. It's in. What I did was I took some pliers and I kind of pressed it in there. Pressed the pin in there. About a quarter of the way in, and then I hammered the rest of it in. Last thing we need to do is just test it out. Pretty cool. Actually, yep. Yeah, I've got to grind a little bit more of that out. That way it can sit in there. Now, on this particular one, you want to make sure you leave your key that long. I mean, you want to butt up right against that. You don't want to go any shorter than that. Because your ignition switch does need to sense that. So don't go any shorter than that. I mean, go all the way to the end there. And it'll still actually tuck in after I grind out that hole. All right, so that concludes the video on how to make the Corvette C5 key fob and key into an all-in-one key fob and flip key. Okay guys, so I just wanted to point out that I'm not getting paid to do this video or anything. I just really wanted to help you guys out. I know there's a bunch of people on the Corvette forums that wanted to learn how to put it together, where to buy it from. I know you have a few questions on how it's done. So I got another one just to show you guys, because I didn't make a video with the first one that I put up. Also, I wanted to shameless plug, I guess, eddrawl.com. That's my website. We sell bone conduction headphones, AfterShokz Bone conduction headphones. They're headphones that don't go in your ears, so you can listen to music from both ears and still hear everything around you. So if you're in your Corvette, you're in the shop, running, whatever it is you're doing, you can listen to music, listen to audiobooks, talk on the phone at the same time, hear everything around you. You can hear cars, people, rattlesnakes, other people working, or whatever it is. It's really designed for safety and awareness. The sound is really good. A lot of people are surprised by it because, well, they're not in your ears. You can see. I can pause, play, skip, answer a phone call just from this one button right here. They are water resistant. They come with a 2-year warranty. Visit us at edrald.com. That's EDRALD.com. Thanks, guys.